You're in a great conversation, everything is flowing, the connection is there, and then it happens. That dreaded, awkward pause. Your mind starts racing. Did I say something wrong? Am I boring? Should I say something? Anything? What if I told you that this discomfort is based on a misunderstanding? That silence isn't a void to be feared, but a space to be used? What if it's not a communication breakdown, but one of the most powerful communication tools you're not using? In the next few minutes, we're going to deconstruct our fear of the quiet, uncover the incredible science-backed benefits of silence, and give you a practical toolkit to wield it like a superpower in your relationships, your career, and even in the relationship you have with yourself. So why does a simple pause make us squirm? Our fear of silence isn't just in your head, it's deeply rooted in our psychology and our culture. First, our brains are wired for connection. Humans are social creatures, and for millennia, we've relied on interpreting social cues to survive. When those cues, the tone of voice, the body language, suddenly disappear in a moment of silence, our brain goes into overdrive, trying to decode the situation. It's an uncertainty trigger. Second, we fear judgment. The quiet makes us intensely self-conscious. We project our own insecurities onto the other person, assuming that if they aren't talking, they must be forming a negative opinion of us. We interpret the pause as a sign of rejection or disapproval, even when it's not. And third, there's the culture we live in. We are surrounded by a world of constant noise and information overload. We've been conditioned to believe that value is only created through constant activity and production. In this environment, silence feels unnatural, like a glitch in the system. Now, it's important to be clear, our fear isn't entirely unfounded. Silence can be used negatively. Think of the silent treatment, a hostile tactic used to punish, control, or manipulate. That is destructive silence, and it's used as a weapon to shut down communication. But what we're talking about today is constructive silence, intentional, positive silence that moves a conversation forward, shows respect, and creates profound understanding. It's not the absence of communication, it is a powerful form of it. So what happens when we embrace this constructive silence? The science is remarkable. In our noisy world, constant sound raises levels of the stress hormone cortisol. But research shows that just 2 minutes of silence can be more relaxing than listening to so-called relaxing music, actively lowering blood pressure and calming your nervous system. Silence literally helps you think better. fMRI studies show that it reduces distracting activity in the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain tied to multitasking, which allows for deeper focus. At the same time, it activates the hippocampus, your brain's memory center, helping you consolidate and retain new information. And have you ever had a brilliant idea in the shower or on a quiet walk? There's a reason for that. Psychologists called it incubation, a stage where your mind unconsciously works on problems. Silence provides the perfect environment for this, with some studies finding it can boost creative problem-solving and insight by 30 to 50%. But perhaps the most immediate superpower silence gives us is the ability to truly listen. Think about it. Most of the time, we're not really listening. We're just waiting for our turn to talk, busy formulating our response in our head. Silence is the tool that breaks this habit. When you intentionally pause after someone speaks, you give yourself the mental space to turn off your internal voice and truly hear what they're saying. An experienced corporate attorney once coached a junior banker to simply count to 3 in his head before responding in meetings. The result, he was perceived as wise beyond his years, and his performance improved dramatically. So let's get practical. How do we use this superpower in our daily lives? Let's start with our most important connections, our relationships. Comfortable silence isn't awkward. It's a sign of a secure, trusting relationship. It communicates, "I'm so comfortable with you, we don't need to fill every single moment with words." It's a non-verbal way of conveying deep trust and intimacy. And in a heated argument, the most powerful thing you can do is often nothing. A deliberate pause can de-escalate rising emotions. It stops you from saying something hurtful you'll regret, and it gives both of you a moment to step back from pure reaction and into thoughtful response. And when someone is sharing something difficult, they don't always need advice. Sometimes they just need you to sit with them in their experience. Your silent, attentive presence can be more comforting and validating than any words you could possibly offer. This power extends directly into our professional lives. Great leaders don't need to be the loudest person in the room. In fact, the opposite is often true. By speaking less and listening more, they create space for their team to share ideas, fostering innovation and collaboration. A leader's silence empowers their team and builds trust. And in a negotiation, silence is pressure. When the other party makes an aggressive offer, your stunned silence is more powerful than 1,000 arguments. It can unnerve them, prompt them to reveal more information, or even soften their stance on their own. You regain control without saying a single word. Think of it like this. You have a toolkit for any situation. Finally, you can use silence to command attention. When you're speaking, your pauses are as important as your words. A well-timed pause before or after a key point acts like a verbal highlighter, telling your audience, "Pay attention, this is important." It adds drama, enhances comprehension, and conveys a deep sense of confidence and authority. You're not rushing because you're nervous, you're pausing because you're in control of the message. So, how do we go from fearing silence to using it? We start small. We retrain our brains, one quiet moment at a time. Here are a few things you can try this week. 1. Start with just 2 minutes. Find a time in your day to sit in total quiet. No phone, no music. Your mind will race at first, and that's okay. You're just building tolerance. 2. Practice the conversational pause. In your next chat, after the other person finishes speaking, silently count to 3 before you reply. It will feel long at first, but it will transform your listening. And 3, take a silent commute. Try driving to work or walking to the store without a podcast or music. Just let your mind wander and see what ideas emerge. And 4, when you feel that anxiety of silence rising, ground yourself. Feel your feet on the floor. Take a single deep breath. This tells your emotional brain that you are safe and in control. Silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. It is a source of great strength, a tool for connection, and a space for clarity. By learning to embrace it, you don't just become a better communicator, you become a deeper thinker, a better leader, and a more present friend. So here's my challenge to you. In the comments below, share one specific situation at work, at home, with a friend, where you're going to practice using a strategic pause this week. Let's learn from each other and build a community of better listeners. And if you found value in understanding the quiet, hit that subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the psychology of communication. Thanks for watching.